What's going on, guys? This is Dynasty 3890 here. Welcome back to another MLB 18 The Show Diamond Dynasty video. Today we're going to be ranking all the career arcs. I've finished all 12 of them, or at least have the player. I may not have finished the program, but I have all 12 players for the program, and I'm going to be ranking them from the worst to the best. And I'm only ranking them based off the card themselves, not what they unlock, how easy they are, how cheap they are. Just the card, and I will take into effect the position they play. For instance, if you're a good hitting catcher, that's bonus points over a good hitting corner outfielder. But if the card is needed to unlock Babe Ruth, and I think that Babe Ruth is a great card, that won't get any bonus points. It's just based off the card itself, which ones are the best, not based on how easy or hard they are to do, because that has fluctuated so much throughout the year. If you did them early on, they were a lot harder than they are to do now. But let's get into it, guys. Now, before I do fully go into the list, I do ask for one thing from you guys. Comment down below what your ranking is. Either you can do it at the end of the video or now. And if you are enjoying this video, drop a like and subscribe if you're new, if you do enjoy the MLB 18 The Show videos. Now, let's get right into it. Let's start off at the bottom with number 12. So at number 12, we have Joe Torre. And this one was pretty much, I feel like for most people, it's their least favorite career arc that you've done. Which is a shame, because I thought this was a promising card when I saw it. Great contact, really good vision, good clutch. He's a third baseman that can play catcher and first, so there's value there that he can play catcher. However, I don't know why, his swing just doesn't work. The ball doesn't really travel. I know he doesn't have the best power, he doesn't really travel. His fielding is not good. His speed is atrocious, especially at third. All in all, this card is not really much to be overly thrilled upon. I mean, maybe you're a big Cardinals fan, you're a big Yankees fan, you're a big Mets fan, you want to do him. I think he played for some other teams as well. I know he is a manager for the Yankees. I mean, he has some okay quirks. Hitting machine in 2020 are good. But all in all, I just feel like the lack of power was really a problem with him, and the bad fielding. I mean, he's not a terrible card. I don't want to say he's terrible. However, there's better options at third base than Joe Torre. So he comes in at number 12. At number 11, we have Paul Molitor, and he's very similar to the Joe Torre. High contact, pretty average to below average power, good vision, bad fielding, not much speed, good clutch. That's pretty much what he's at. Now, the only problem is Paul Molitor does not have the secondary positions that Joe Torre had, catcher and first base. Paul Molitor is only a first baseman. But Paul Molitor, I do feel like the ball seems to travel better with him off the bat. It may be because he has slightly better power. Quirks are, I mean, he has the same quirks, really. I don't know. Maybe his swing, for me at least, works slightly better. Now that this list is subjective. I mean, Molitor and Joe Torre, I think, are in a class of their own for the worst two, in my opinion. I mean, if you want to interchange those two, you're more than welcome to on your list. For me, though, they were at the very bottom, and I feel like the next tier, if I was going to tier them, is a pretty solid group. So this Molitor, good contact, not much power. For first base, you can find good, cheap hitting first basemen who have below average fielding and below average speed. And like, you can find that pretty easily, and you shouldn't have to do it for a career arc. But he is a 91 overall if you're overall hunting. And he's like I said, you're a big Blue Jay, Twin. I'm trying to think of other teams he played for. I know you played for a good amount. Brewers. If you're a fan of them, you want to do like an all one of their teams, he's a good piece for that at least. Here we are at number 10. We have our first pitcher. Starting pitcher, Jack Morris. He comes in at number 10. Now, he has some good per nines. His stamina is 115. That's great. He has a clutch of 114. That's great. His per nines are pretty solid. Nothing really crazy. 84 is the highest. Now, the reason why I don't really love him, I don't know. I feel like his fastball was pretty meh. His forkball, in prior years, I feel like forkballs or splitters have been OP. This card, I didn't feel like his forkball was overly powerful. His slider is really good. His changeup is pretty meh. So it's really a fastball slider pitcher. The changeup you can use the left-handed hitters to get him out, but I don't feel like it was a great pitch. Now he does have a good gap in his velocity in the changeup and the fastball, which I thought would be good. But I mean, this card's not bad. Like I mentioned before, I feel like Torre and Molitor are the worst two, and there's tiers. This is a good pitcher. He's in my rotation. I don't hate the card. I was expecting a little bit more, and I was just kind of underwhelmed with him, but he's still a good pitcher, so don't say I don't like the card. He just is number 10 out of the top 12. So let's move on to number 9. At number 9, we have Lee Smith. Now, he's either my first or the second one, either him or Hanley, and I really wanted him because I like the pitches, because like I mentioned before with Jack Morris, he had a forkball, which I knew last year splitters were great. Forkballs are very much the same thing. Now, I do put Lee Smith slightly ahead of Jack Morris. They seem very similar to me. The fact, though, is I feel like relievers have more value than starters because you can use your reliever every game. And starters, it's just a crapshoot if you get him or not. Now, this card has better per 9s than the Jack Morris. Obviously, stamina is going to be worse. Clutch is worse. He throws harder. He has a cutter, which I really like. And cutters are pretty good against left-handers. The slider's good against right-handers. The cutter in versus lefties is great. Or you can go into like that backdoor cutter. I love doing that. And he does throw up to 98, 99 miles an hour. So for a right-handed reliever, he's probably my second best one I have. That's a little bit of a spoiler alert for the end of this video. But he does come in at number 9. At number 8, we have Bret Saberhagen. Now, I really do like this card. I actually do really like him. I just feel like there were 7 other cards that I like more. And like I said, part of the reason is I don't love starting pitchers. I feel like there's only a 20% chance you're going to get them. Now, if you have 5 good ones, then that kind of negates the point. But if you're just taking a individual card, saying how good it is, comparing it to a reliever or a positional player, it's hard for me to justify putting them a lot higher. So it's hard for me to fairly rate the starters, but I'm doing my best. So I have him at number 8. I like this card, though. Stamina is good. Clutch is good. It's very similar to Jack Morris, but his pitches, he throws harder. I feel like his slider is filthy. I feel like his curveball is, I mean, curveballs this year aren't great, but his changeup is pretty good. A 17 mile per hour difference, sometimes 18 if you get that extra little zip on the fastball. He is slightly better than Jack Morris, enough that he's 2 spots ahead. Like I said, he has good stamina. He's going to go long into the game. He can throw hard. I like his pitches for the most part. I would rather have like a curveball out and maybe have a cutter. But beggars can't be choosers. But he does come in at number 8, Bret Saberhagen. At number 7, we have Larry Doby here. Now, him and another card are very similar, which I'll get to in a minute. And I do have Doby worse than the other one. The other one is Billy Williams. We'll get to him in a minute. But this Larry Doby has some pretty good stats that I like. He can hit righties and lefties for contact. Only righties for power. However, only 45 power versus left. But he does have good fielding, an 88 fielding, 72 arm. I would probably recommend center or left. The 72 arm is probably not good enough to put in right. But in center, that's fine. Left field, that's fine. However, 62 speed, it's not great. So I would say, for me, I have Matt Kemp. Diamond Matt Kemp, so I put Kemp in center. I would put Doby in left, just because of lack of speed and arm. He does have good discipline, solid vision at 86, good clutch. All in all, I just wish his power versus left was a little higher. He's a liability versus left-handed pitching because he can't really hit the home run, which is so important this year. Now, he does have good contact, but the power, I don't know. I feel like that is definitely something that can hurt him. But he does come in at number 7, right around the midway point for all these, because he is a really good hitter other than that. And he does have good fielding. So number 7 is Larry Doby. At number 6, we have Billy Williams, and like I just mentioned before, him and Doby are very similar. The reason why I put Billy Williams at 6 and Doby at 7, power versus left. He's plus 20 power versus left. That helps him a lot. He's more usable, I guess you could say. Now, Billy Williams is a left fielder, right fielder, or first baseman. His fielding isn't great. His arm is actually about the same. And like I said, for my team, I put them both in left field, which, the fielding and arm's not overly important in left field. It's probably one of the weakest fielding positions for most teams. Left field or first base usually are the weakest fielding positions. You put like the big boppers out there. And when you kind of just take the fielding out for Williams and Doby, look at just the hitter, Williams is better in my opinion because of the plus 20 power versus left. He is not amazing versus left, but he's pretty damn good without 87 contact versus left. He does have better vision, but not as good discipline than Doby. They're very close. They are very close. But I do put Billy Williams, that slight advantage over him, and he comes in at number 6. At number 5, we have Don Sutton, the last starting pitcher remaining. Now, like I mentioned before, starters are hard to quantify in this because there's only a 20% chance they get used, so I can't really rate them as I devalue them a little bit compared to relievers or positional players, but this card's very good. He doesn't throw overly hard, and this year is actually not as important. In prior years, this card would be god-awful because of lack of velocity. However, speed is not as important, so it helps him out this year. He has great stamina like the other starters we have. Good, incredible hits per 9, good K per 9, solid walks per 9, home runs per 9 is not important unless you're simulating. So the reason why, though, I have him high up at number 5, his screwball's a hell of a lot of fun to throw. If you haven't tried throwing a screwball, it throws people off. It really does. It's fun to throw, and guys some guys just can't hit it. If that's the case, keep going to the well, man. Keep throwing that screwball. It's 73 miles an hour compared to like 91 and 92 with his fastball. Almost 20 miles per hour slower. He also has a knuckle curve. He has a slider, and he has a sinker. The sinker's not that good because it's so slow. Like a hard sinker in MLB games are usually pretty OP. His sinker at 88 doesn't really do the trick, but that screwball is a hell of a lot of fun, like I mentioned, to use. Because of that, I do have him at number 5. Here we are at number 4. And he's just outside of a podium finish. It is Hanley Ramirez. Now this card, I give him an advantage over like the other hitters of Doby and Williams because he plays shortstop. Because as a hitter, he's not as good as those two, especially in the power department. But he does play shortstop. And right now, for me at least, there's not many really good defensive and good offensive shortstops to get. I mean, unless you want to spend 100-something thousand steps on Manny Machado. Now there is like Team Epic's Vizquel and Ozzie Smith. However, they can't really hit from much power. Now, Hanley can't verse lefties, but he can verse rights. 74 power is definitely good enough. His fielding has never been a problem with me. 71 fielding, 78 arm. He has 85 speed. He can get to those balls in the hole. He has good vision at 77. Nothing crazy, just average. Good clutch. I thought his fielding would be terrible. I really did. It wasn't. And because he can just mash right-handed pitching, he's pretty good. If he could hit lefties, like if his power versus left was like 60, he might be number 1 on this list. But because of the lack of being able to hit left-handed pitching for power, he does come in at number 4. At number 3, we have Trevor Hoffman coming in at 3rd place, bronze place. Now, Trevor Hoffman has insane per 9s, 107, 115K per 9, 101 clutch. Stamina's at 26, which is pretty just average for a reliever. Not great walks per 9, and like I mentioned, homers per 9 is only a simulating stat. But he has probably the best individual pitch I've used this year, unless you want to count Phil Necro's knuckleball. His changeup, his circle change, it moves so much, and it is so slow. I basically equate it to the ball is just going like a fastball. It then stops 5 feet in front of the plate, waits for the hitter to swing, and then continues into the catcher's mitt and drops like a foot while doing it. It's so unfair. It's so good. I've literally just like thrown it back. If people can't hit it, it's awesome. His fastball's 92, 93. This year, that is okay because you don't need a dominant fastball, especially if people are sitting on changeup, you can throw 92, 93 past them. If they're sitting on his circle change, which you almost have to, people are going to be late on that fastball. He has a cutter, which I love. He has a slider, which it's not the best slider, and his curveball's pretty trash. I wouldn't recommend throwing the curve. I mostly go changeup, cutter, slider with him. I really don't use the fastball too much. Maybe to try to sneak a high one by someone. Most of the time it's changeup, cutter, slider down in the zone, getting people off balance with that changeup. It's really good, guys. It's like I said, the change is probably my favorite pitch, most fun I have with a single pitch, not pitcher, but a single pitch. It's that changeup. And because of that, Hoffman comes in at 3rd place. Number 2, we have Gary Carter, catcher. And that's the big reason why I have him at number 2. He's a catcher. Now, his impact veteran, his rookie, can also play the outfield. This one cannot. Can only play first base. But I will only use him at catcher, really. He's an elite defensive catcher. He's an elite hitter. Mashes left-handed pitching. Pretty much average versus right-handed pitching. But that's all right. For me, at least, my lineup is very dominant versus right-handed pitching. Struggles against left-handed pitching, so it's nice to have a guy like Gary Carter in there. So that if they have a lefty starter, I'm not completely screwed. He helps me out there. He also has amazing quirks. 20/20 vision, walker, vacuum, sniper, unbreakable, and hitting machine. He's going to gobble up the pitches in the dirt. He's going to gun guys out trying to steal second base. He's going to mash home runs. He's a great player, guys. I mean, right now for me, I kind of have a glut of catchers with Carter, Piazza, and Molina. And I think Carter or Molina are kind of like the two I'm really liking the most. And Carter every day just seems to just inch his way a little bit more because of the extra power he has. So he's one of the best catchers in the game, at least for me. And he's a career arc. So I put him at number 2 on this. And at number 1, first place, gold trophy goes to Chase Utley. And I'm surprised how good this card is. I really was. I saw the card. I'm like, pretty good hitter. Pretty good. He plays second base. It's not a lot of dominant hitting second baseman, but I had Diamond Brian Dozier, and I was like, no way, this card's going to be better. I was wrong. This card's amazing. Now his fielding is really good. Unfortunately, I've noticed like 3 different times where he's just like gone to his left, and the ball's gone underneath his glove. He's recovered once to then get the guy out at first, but twice he wasn't able to. So I'm not sure if that's a Chase Utley thing or what. I don't know. If you guys have had that problem, meet me in the comments down below as well. But he has amazing contact. His power is so legit. Don't just 73 and 58, you're like, that's not that good. No, it's really good. It's really good. His vision 79, which you think is not that great. It doesn't matter. This card is so ridiculous, guys. It is ridiculous. You can also play first. I am so shocked. I don't know why he has hitting machine, sniper, and pressure cooker for his quirks. I don't understand it. This card is a beast. I feel like, I don't know if it's like glitched. I don't know. I did not think I was going to like it. A couple of you guys on Twitter were like, "Hey, Nasty, you're going to love this Utley." I was like, I don't think so. No, you guys were right. Shout out to you guys for saying this card's going to be a beast. He is. And I don't think it's a mistake. If you guys see the top two were Carter and Utley, that we had to wait to get them. I think, we also had to wait to get Paul Molitor, and he came in at number 11 on this list. But maybe San Diego Studios know those were the best cards that were in Career Arc, and they wanted to wait before they would release them. And also Hoffman, actually. So there's so the top three were cards that you had to wait to get. So I don't know, maybe, or it's either recency bias for me that they're newer, so I'm liking them more, or maybe they actually are the best. I don't know. For me though, Utley's the best card. I didn't think he would be. I thought the Carter was going to be the best. I was wrong. Utley is a glitch at second base, guys. I would love to hear in the comments down below what your list is. You don't have to give me the full 12. If you want to give me like your top 3 or your bottom 3 or whatever you want to do, I'd just love to hear it from you guys. Meet me down there, and I'll talk to you later, boys. Take it easy. Peace.